Hello world, me again. Nighttime, what's good? I was sitting there looking up on some articles, but this caught my attention. You know, these developers might be getting lazy, but all these remakes, it's like, really, do we really need them? I mean, you got Final Fantasy VII the remake, right? Then you had to Return to Arkham, but that wasn't a remake, that was just an update. But then they were talking about Resident Evil 4 the remake. Then they wanted to remake Metal Gear from the ground up, right? But like I said before, if it ain't broke, why try to fix it? You know what I'm saying? And like I said, what can you add that was never there? And then, it says people trying to remake. I mean, not now. Ico was on the PlayStation 2. Then they moved it to PlayStation 3. Then they moved it to PlayStation 4. But now you want to remake Ico on PlayStation 5 after porting it 3 times. All of a sudden, now you want to remake it. I mean, the game might be missing DLSS, ray tracing, and teraflops, but remaking the game, like, what can you add that was never there? So Ico is a huge game and has a huge following, huge fan base. But what are you gonna add to the game that was not even there? And how are you gonna improve the gameplay if you're thinking about remaking this game? But this is the world we live in right now. A lot of remakes. Listen to this. It says here, Ico was one of the earliest games on PS2, making it well over 2 decades old and deserving of a proper remake to update to modern day. It says Team Ico was often recognized and celebrated for its video games that translate the typical expectation of medium and have been used to argue that games are an art form. The mystified article style, clever gameplay mechanics, and minimal approach to storytelling have earned the studio a loyal following of fans over the years. Unfortunately, the use of the word is quite literal, as the studio went defunct in 2011, with the rest of development on its final game, The Last Guardian, shifting over to a new studio. It says, with The Last Guardian already being able to take full advantage of the PS4 capabilities and the critical acclaim Shadow of Colossus receiving a remake in 2018, that leaves one game left in Team Ico's trifecta, still waiting to be updated to modern day standards. Ico, the first title from the legendary developer, was released back in 2001 on the PlayStation 2 and immediately put the devs on the map as an up-and-coming talent. It's still an enjoyable game in its original form, but considering this era of classic titles being remade, as well as Shadows of the Colossus already receiving the same treatment, Ico deserve a brand new coat of paint sooner rather than later. And what else? Anyone even remotely interested in video games is well aware of the rising trend of remakes these past few years. Everything from Final Fantasy VII the remake to Resident Evil 3 has been remade with modern graphics and tweaks to older gameplay in order to bring things up to speed with modern day expectation. Hard as it can be for some to let go of classics, it is undeniable that some of these games have become dated in one way or the other with each passing year. From this perspective, it is an exciting prospect for both veterans of the original and those experiencing them for the first time to see these games in prime form. Then it says here, the process of a remake is way preserved the love of the original version, which also paying tribute to the version the developers originally intended. Nowadays, technology for games is remarkable, with the creative possibilities only limited by how far an imagination can be stretched. Shadows of the Colossus was ahead of its time in terms of idea and scale, and while impressive for its first time, was starting to show its age due to being limited to the capabilities inside the PS2. The PS4 remake gave the game a beautiful makeover while still retaining what made it special, a procedure that Ico is deserving as well, considering its special place in PlayStation history. And it says here, it should be also noted that based on actual release thus far, as well as recent rumors, Sony seems to be taking a lick to remaking games from its back catalog. The PlayStation 5 is a landmark in a vast history of celebrated industry defining release, with many of its titles already a decade or two old in age. The killer app at the launch of the PS5 was Bluepoint's Demon's Soul remake, a stunning update on the PS3 original, and that is already well over 10 years old. And it says here, I'm gonna stop right here. Ico the remake. Well, we'll see what Bluepoint can do. But I mean, if Shadows of the Colossus got a remake, then why not? You know, I mean, but then again, I get it. I get you want to bring it up to today's code with the DLSS and ray tracing with teraflops and all that. But still, the question is this remake really worth it? You know, and I know it's to try to preserve and keep the game alive. You know, versus played it in its older form. I get it. But you know, but there's a price to be paid when it's coming to remaking games, you know, and sacrifices has to be made. So, Ico being remade, we'll see how Bluepoint do, you know. I mean, with the remake, but then with the power of the PS5, you know, why not? Go for it, you know. Some games can be remade, others can. I mean, actually, all games can be remade, but it's, you know, the question is it really worth it to remake the game? Like, some games can be remade, others can't. But we'll see how they do with this one when it comes out. But anyway, I'm going to leave a link in the description box with this article. And nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing, or Dark Side. I'm gone. Peace.